and gentlemen, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. This is Rob Diggie with another edition of Diggie A2 presents DBENTCO The Journey. This is our second stop on our journey through the DBENTCO, which stands for DB Entertainment, led by Dion Brown. And the next guest that we're going to spend some time with today is Mac Xavier, one of the most extraordinary hip hop artists that I've come across in a long time. And he has decided to showcase his story, tell you all a little bit about himself. You all have seen him a couple times already on the platform. He has blessed our platform with the IC episode. He has also blessed our platform with the Naughty by Nature episode. So for those of you who are true Mac Xavier fans, go back to the channel, check out those episodes, show this brother some support. He is up and coming. And I have an opportunity now to sit down with him and talk about his life, some of the things he wants to do with his projects and everything like that. So I'm going to bring him in and get you all a chance to talk to Mac. And Mac, what's good, my brother? How are you? Good evening and happy holidays to you, my dude.
Man, how you feeling, brother?
I am good, man. I'm good. I'm blessed. It's been a crazy 2020, man. I'll tell you, my dude. It's been a crazy 2020, but it led me to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's been great, man. So I want to showcase to the fans a little bit about you. It's all about Mac today. This is Mac Xavier's singular episode. So we're not showcasing somebody else. We're showcasing Mac Xavier. So actually, Mac, to get us started, I want to start from the beginning. How did you become Mac Xavier?
Man, that's an interesting story, man. So I've always had an interest in music from, my days as a young kid. Obviously, I grew up early 90s. So, I was exposed to the Big D's and the Pocs and the Naughty by Nature. Shout out to all those guys. And so, my mom was a really, really big lover of music. So I listened to all types of stuff growing up: hip hop, R&B, country, rock, jazz, all types of stuff. So I grew up with a very, very fond affinity for music. So I think it was around, fourth grade when I really started, when my music interest really started to peak. Because my uncle used to take me, we used to go on road trips and stuff all the time. We used to bump all types of music, all the Pac albums, the Big album, Jay-Z, Nas, all those greats. And so after he died, it kind of took me in my shell a little bit. So not only did I lose probably my best friend, but I lost the one who really connected with me on the music. And so it took me a while to really develop my own voice and my own sound when it comes to being able to speak and do the things that I wanted to do musically. So fast forward to seventh grade. Initially, I started writing journals because I had so many thoughts in my head and I had so many things that I wanted to say. But I was never really super social like that. So I started writing journals to really get my thoughts out and be able to put thoughts to paper. So that was really how I got my start with writing. And then so I went from writing journals to writing poems. Because it was just kind of a natural transition. And then my friends actually started doing music before I did. And so they had their own little group or whatever. And I was just kind of the DJ / beatbox guy because I was always really good at doing that type of thing. And so, but they convinced me to write. I started because I would hear them do their ciphers and stuff because we would have ciphers and stuff between classes. And it was always, fun. It was always a good way for me to stay connected to the music. And so my friends was just like, yo, you write poems and you do your thing, why don't you try writing a song or try writing a verse? And I was like, you know what? That'd probably be a cool little thing to try. So I tried it, and I fell in love with it. So I tried it. It took me a little bit to really work up the nerve to spit it, because I'd written it, but it took me a minute to work up the courage to spit it in front of them. But once I finally did, man, they loved it, and I got hooked, and I was hooked. I've been hooked ever since. And I was about 12 years old when I wrote my first verse, and I've been writing ever since.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I think well, a lot of times that people forget that hip hop and rap, is poetry. It starts out with poetry first. Like, you make little rhymes and words that can rhyme with each other, and then you can kind of formulate songs. And it starts out with a lot of MCs with poetry, and that's the same. Seems like it resonates with you as well. So you have a love for poetry. So I think that's great, man. And so to transition from that from the beginning, how did you move along now to the present? So let's talk about the present Mac Xavier. How are you? Where are you right now in your career? What are some of the things you're working on? And most importantly, what's the project that you've done that you're the most proud of? That you could say, you know what, anybody that is a new listener of Mac Xavier, I want you to listen to this particular project.
Right. Man, that's a great question, man. So for me in my career right now, I'm honestly, man, and this is gonna sound real cliche, but I'm just living life. Because I think for me personally, the biggest inspiration that I can draw from is life. Because life is such a great teacher, man. Um, and it sometimes it teaches you lessons that you might not want to learn, or lessons that might not be as positive as you would like, but what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You know what I mean? So, especially this particular year, man, this has been a year.
No doubt.
This year has taught me quite a bit of stuff. So, next year, I'm really looking forward to putting pen to paper and really drawing a lot of inspiration from this past year. In terms of projects, I'm currently working on my third album right now, my third full-length studio album. I'm looking to probably drop it probably this coming summer, probably mid-June,
Okay.
mid to late June at the latest. Just putting up some finishing touches. Everything is written. Just got to get back in the studio, man. COVID has kind of put a lot of things on hold in terms of studio time and things like that. We want to be safe, of course. But I'm trying to hopefully get back in the studio at the beginning of the year, knock everything out, make sure everything is touched up on the production end, and have everything done by this summer so I can drop. In terms of my favorite project, that's a tough question, man, because I like both my first two projects for different reasons. Obviously, the first project I dropped, Expressions of the Versatile Mind, that was my baby. That was obviously the first, my debut full length project. I had actually, a lot of people don't know, fun fact, that actually wasn't the first project that I wrote. I'd actually written like two more projects before that, but those never came out,
Yeah.
at least not in a full length capacity. Um, but Expressions of a Versatile Mind was definitely my debut album. That was the first one I ever released, and that was, for me, man, that was the culmination of a lot of different things. I'm talking about a lot of personal, deeply personal stuff on the album, and so that one will always have a special place in my heart, for that reason. Now, when it comes to evolution, man, it's really what it sounds like. It's really an evolution of where I came from, transitioning from my first project, to where I was feeling the way I was feeling, at that particular time. It's really a snapshot into my life at that particular moment. Um, and it's really a fun project for me. It's a lot less, it's less personal. It's still personal, but less personal than the first project. It's a lot more fun. I'm having a lot more fun records, a lot more features, on that project than I had on my first one. My first project is a lot more homegrown, a lot more locally driven. I mean, I do have some features on it, but they're mostly features from cats I know around my area, cats I grew up with, that type of thing. Whereas Evolution, man, I'm branching out. I've got a lot of strange music artists on there. Shout out to strange music, and that's kind of where my current I want to say my trajectory is going right now, because I've got even more strange music artists on this upcoming project. So that's I'm looking forward to showcasing my abilities alongside them. I've always been a big strange music fan. So that's
Word.
kind of where I'm at right now. Hopefully in the future, I'm because I also sing. A lot of people don't know that I sing as well. And I do have a couple of singing tracks on both my albums, with Expressions and Evolution. But ideally, I would like to make a full-length R&B album. That would be phenomenal. So that's kind of where I'm looking towards in the future. But like I said, I wanna take it as naturally as possible, and be, and keep it thorough, keep it organic. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel you, man. I think that's great. And I think our fans will definitely be supportive. I know I'm going to be the first in line to grab that when you do decide to drop it. But let's transition to your relationship with DBENTCO.
for sure. So I actually met Dion right before I joined the military. Say it was I joined in 2016, so 20 beginning of 2015.
Okay.
I actually met him. We worked together for a little bit, and so it's actually a really funny story. I always enjoy telling this story. But
Okay.
we were closing up shop because we both work nights. So we were closing up shop, and I happened to bring my headphones, and I was, bumping my music because I had just, I had just finished dropping I just gone to the studio like the day before, and I was listening back because when I go to the studio, I'll go back and I'll listen to the record, to see, what I'm saying, to make sure everything sounds right, make sure I enunciate my words, and make sure that everything is tip top before I release it to the public. So I was going over it, and I was listening to everything and making sure everything was tip top. And he happened to be walking by while the song was playing, and I guess it was louder than I had originally thought, because he stopped and he was like, "Yo," he was like, "That sounds fucking amazing. Who is that?" And I was like, "That's me." He was like, "Yo, you do music?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Well, how long you been doing music?" And I was like, "I've been doing music for a minute, but I'm actually working on my debut album right now, because that was, at the time I was working on Expressions." Um, and so he was like, "Well, shoot, let me hear some stuff, man. You got a website, you on YouTube, what?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm on YouTube, I'm on SoundCloud. I'm on all those." And he was like, "Bet, well, I'm gonna go back and listen to some stuff." And so a couple of days later, he came back to me. He was like, "Yo," he was like, "I listen to your music, dude, and you are phenomenal. Like, you are legit one of the most amazing artists I've ever heard." And I was like, "Yo, man, I appreciate that. That's love." Um, and so he actually, and I didn't know this at the time, but he was actually working with the Strange Music Street Team. So he was part of their promo, for Tech and all the Strange Music artists. So they would go around passing out flyers for their concerts and their album promotion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know that at the time. But so he started helping me out, with promotions and stuff, because he knew how to do all of the flyer presses and stuff like that. And so we started kind of working together on that tip, and he actually got me a couple of shows opening up for Tech, a couple of summers ago. I actually
Wow.
did I
Wow.
did I did a show in Pensacola, and I did a show in Atlanta, opening up for Tech on his Planet tour. Because he dropped his Planet album a couple years back.
Yeah.
Uh, and so I got a couple of shows opening up for him.
Wow.
I actually got to meet Tech. I got to meet Joey Cool. I got to meet King ISO, because they were both on the tour with him. And that actually got me an in, being introduced to Joey. And I actually have, fast forward. It's crazy how things kind of come full circle. But fast forward, I've actually got a song on this upcoming project with Joey. Shout out to Joey Cool, and we actually
Shout
did
out
a
to Joey
music
Cool.
video.
Word up, man.
Yeah,
Word up. Shout out to Joey Cool for strange
big
music,
shout out
yo.
to
No
Joey.
doubt. No doubt.
So I actually got a music video for that project for that single. I'm actually probably gonna drop this. Actually, I dropped the single already, but the visuals are out as well. So I actually got a single and a visual with the homie Joey Cool. So big shout out to him. And so DB Entertainment, man, is actually fairly new in terms of him actually starting the label. So we've actually he actually started it the end of last year, I believe, beginning of this year. So we're steadily growing, man. We got a bunch of phenomenal artists on the roster. We're looking to expand, you know what I mean? Looking to keep the culture, pushing the culture forward. So big shout out to Dion, man. Dion has been a huge asset in my life, not just from a music perspective, but personally, because we've been cool for a while. We actually had a great working relationship even before DB Entertainment, and I'm honored to be, the first signee to the label, man. So big shout out to Dion, man. Much love. I wouldn't be where I am without him. I swear by him. He's a phenomenal manager. He's a phenomenal label head, and he's a phenomenal person. So big
Yeah,
shout out
you
to
know
Dion.
what's bug about this, Mac? Is like he said the same thing when I interviewed him. He said the same thing about you, man. So I can tell that you guys have a genuine love for each other, and like I love to see that. Once it's genuine, it's organic, and it shows with the relationship. You know what I mean? And I love to see that. So let me ask you another question. Let's go into a different direction real quick with this, and let's talk about inspirations. Who are your inspirations? Who are your influences in hip hop?
Man, that list is long, brother.
I got time, brother. I got time.
This is long. I mean, it's usual suspects, right? You got Jay, Biggie, Pac. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for this, but I'm actually more of a Biggie guy than a Pac guy. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, I know Pac is one of the goats. He's amazing. Rest in peace, Tupac, man. But if given the choice, I gravitated more to Biggie, just for his style. He was more of a punchline guy, more of a syllables type of rapper, similes, metaphors, that type of thing, and I really gravitated towards that. But I do love Pac's storytelling, and that's actually where I draw a lot of my storytelling inspiration from. Is Pac. I love Eminem. Eminem is amazing. I love Wayne. Wayne is dope. Man, I love and switching and fast forwarding to the current state of music, where music is now. I love Kendrick. I love Drake. I love J. Cole. Big Crit. Big Crit is actually one of my dream collaborations. I would love to work with Crit, especially since he's from Mississippi. So he's
Yeah,
from
no doubt. Shout out to Big Crit, man. People sleep on Crit, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
I love Crit. Crit is amazing, and I would love to work with him. But yeah, man, I actually have a wide range of artists that I really love. Not even just hip hop, but just music in general. I mean, I listen to all types of stuff, and I listen to hip hop, rock, jazz, country, R&B, pop. You know what I mean? So I draw my inspiration from a lot of different places, and I think that benefits me because it makes me a more well-rounded artist. But yeah, those are some of my big hip hop names, man. I love those guys, and I swear by those guys till I die. So,
Man, that's phenomenal, my dude. That's a pretty impressive list. You know what I mean? Like, and me as a podcaster and a fan of hip hop, yeah, your list is pretty impressive, man. You may name some of those top 5 that are alive on that list. So yeah, I mean, my sentiments are with you, as well too. So shout out to Tupac, man. We just did an episode. Actually, me and Dion just did an episode about Tupac, this week. So you definitely guys go out there once you get done watching this. Go back and watch that episode because we really did put that one down, showing homage to Tupac this week. So, all right, now, Mac, one last question before we start to close things out, and that is the future. What does the future look like for Mac Xavier? And before we even get to the future, one, how was 2020? What has 2020 taught you? And then what does the future look like for you? So it's a 2-part question. One is, what has 2020 taught you? And then now looking into the future, where do you want to see your career go? What are some of your career goals, whether it's short term, long term? The floor is yours, sir.
That's another great question, man. 2020 has been very interesting, to say the least. There's been a lot going on in the world, with obviously coronavirus, and not even just that, but just the state of our country, where we are as a nation, where we are as a world, as a global entity. The biggest thing 2020 has taught me, man, is that life is precious, and it's obviously, I mean, you hear that all the time, right? You hear the cliches, life is short, you never really know when your time is going to come. But 2020, man, is really driven it home, with the deaths of some of our legends, man. Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle, man. With the death of my favorite athlete of all time, and Kobe Bryant, rest in peace to the legend Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
So those two deaths in particular, man, those deaths have really driven the point home that life is really short, and you have to really make the most of every opportunity that you have, not only to live your life and live your life to the best of your ability, but to inspire people. I really drew a lot of inspiration from those two cats, man, in terms of Nipsey, in terms of ownership, and in terms of being your own man and being your own person, especially as an artist, understanding what you want as an artist, what you want for your life, what you want for your career, being able to stand on your own 2 feet and do live life and do music on your own terms, and especially being as an African American, as a black man in America, those two guys really inspired me to be better, to approach every single day with drive and with determination, and live every day to the best of my ability and continue to learn, continue to grow. And in terms of Kobe, man, the inspiration that he gave not only to basketball players around the world, but to people, with the Mamba mentality, you know what I mean? Approaching every single day, of being the absolute best possible version of yourself, branching out, being able to do more than just what people think you should do, being able to expand, in terms of business, in terms of owning his own production company, expanding out into, inspiring even the WNBA and women's basketball, teaching women that they can do more than people think they can, being such a phenomenal father that he was, coaching his daughter, and being the family man that he was, and that was really inspiring to me as somebody who really loves kids and really wants to have his own family someday. Obviously, and coming from where I come from, with the situation with my father, having that being that kind of father figure, that I never really had growing up,
Yeah.
that was absolutely inspirational to me as well. So
No doubt.
those are some of the things that I learned in 2020, man. Just being able to approach the next year with the drives that those two showed, in their lives, while they were with us. So I'm really looking forward to 2020, man, and or 2021 rather, and what it's got to bring for me, and transition to what I want for my future, man. I just want to keep inspiring people, um, keep putting my best foot forward with my music, not only my music, but with my life in general. I want to give back. I want to do more to give back, next year as well. Because like I said, with those two cats, Nip and Cole, man, those guys, not only were they phenomenal in their crafts, but they also did a phenomenal job of giving back, particularly to the young people. Because like it or not, man, that's our future. Our future is our kids. So the more we invest into our kids, man, and our young people, the better off our country and our world is going to be. So I want to do more, to give back, to the youth, to inspire them with my music as well. Like I said, I would love to do a full length R&B album, to explore that side of myself, because I always have loved R&B artists. I'm heavily influenced by by R&B artists as well. And I will also, man, I'm also wanting to venture into beat making as well, because I've always had an affinity for beat making and creating melodies and creating my own sound and that type of thing. So I would love to venture into beat making. That would be an amazing addition to. I feel like not only my craft and making me more well-rounded, but also the label and DB Entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Because we have some phenomenal beat makers um, on the roster as well. Shout out to
Yeah.
homie Spiff is amazing. He's an amazing beat maker. He's also an amazing artist. But I would also love to add that to my repertoire, man. So those are just some of the things I got in the works. Obviously, you know, continue to grow as an artist, continue to grow as a human being. So I'm really looking forward to 2021, man, and what it's got in store for me.
Man, like you got me like really reflective right now, man. Got me in my feelings with this, man, and that's hard to do. I'm kind of a rock hard kind of dude. I'm like, oh man, like he got me on the ropes. But yeah, man, like I think that you are an extraordinary talent. And I think that the sky's the limit. I mean that. You bring up, you know, Notorious Big, you know, has a great song called Sky's the Limit. And, you know, and that's pretty much it. This, you know, is as far as where you can take it. I think you are an exceptional artist. I knew about you before I even met you. So I knew about Expressions of the Mind. I knew about the next one was Evolution of a Versatile Mind. So I'm sorry, the first one is Expressions of a Versatile Mind. The second one I heard was Evolution of a Versatile Mind. Let me correct myself. So I heard about you before I even met you. So like I did my studying on you and I was like, yo, this dude has got something and he is hip hop. So when you meet other individuals that are hip hop, you know, like the people that I talked about this, you know, I think it was last week, where you have, you know, people that hear hip hop and then people that listen to hip hop. There's two different aspects of that. And I think everybody on the roster for DBENTCO are listeners of the craft. They listen, like they put things together, and you are definitely one of those at the top of the list, man. So I appreciate you. And to wrap things up, Mac, I want to give you an opportunity to show homage to anyone that has helped you on your road to success. Who are your shout outs going to? Who do you want to see this show? Who do you want to give shout out to get you to where you are right now and your success in your career?
For sure. Well, first and foremost, man, I want to thank God, because without God, none of this is possible.
No doubt.
None of the success that I've had, none of the blessings that I've received, not even just in music, but in my life, will be possible. So big shout out to God. Shout out to my mom. I love you, Mom. Without you, I wouldn't be here either. You've literally known me, obviously, from the time I was born. You've been by my side, even when it felt like the world was against me. So big shout out to my mom. I love her. Shout out to my family. I love all of y'all, man. My brothers, my sister, my cousins, my grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles. I love all y'all, man. Y'all are amazing. Y'all have stuck by me. Y'all have supported me throughout this journey that I've been on. Shout out to my fans also. Much love to the fans. Much love to everybody who's ever listened to anything that I've ever put out. Because without y'all, there would be no me. I would have no reason to do this. So y'all have been showing me so much love, man, from Expressions all the way through. I ask that y'all keep supporting me, man, and keep inspiring me, because y'all inspire me every single day. Shout out to everybody on the roster, man. Shout out to Spiff, Satisfied, BGE, shout out 36 and Brimstone, man. Shout out Dion. I love all of y'all, man. Y'all are phenomenal artists. I'm happy to know you guys. I'm happy to work with y'all. I'm happy to be on the same label as y'all. I'm looking forward to everything y'all got to put out, and I would be honored, extremely honored to work with y'all, continue to work with y'all in the future, man. So shout out to all those people, man. I love all of y'all, and I hope y'all keep rocking with me for real.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. And that's heartfelt. And can you do me a favor real quick, man? Can you stand up and show people the shirt you got on right now, my brother? I just want people to see this real quick. You know, that's a pretty dope ass shirt you got on right there. You know what I mean? So I just want to throw that out there real quick. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to throw it out there that the Diggie A2 movement is reaching out to the DBENTCO, and I definitely wanted to point that out real quick. You know, Mac probably thought like, oh man, I don't know what you got on. I'll be watching you. I'm an observant kind of guy. But shout out to you, Mac, man. Shout out to your success, and shout out to everybody that's on DBENTCO. So we're going to continue this journey for the next few weeks. This is the second stop on our journey, and we're going to meet the rest of the artists for the next couple of weeks. So this one is Mac Xavier, and I've had a pleasure of interviewing you, Mac. So much love to you and your success in the future. Shout out to you. Shout out to Dion. Shout out to the rest of the guys. And of course, as always, shout out to hip hop music, and hip hop culture. All right. I'll see you guys next week. All right. 100. Peace and love.